Hi, I'm Lindsay Westfall, and this is my master's program experience in review. First thing I want to talk about are my key course learnings from this master's program. My first key course learning is that technology should be used to enhance education. It should be a purposeful integration. I feel like oftentimes in classes we are often just substituting things with technology or just using technology as a sort of game for students. Um, I think it is important. What I've learned through this program is you can use it for those things, but also you should be using it to enhance that instruction and allowing kids to be using it in a meaningful way. My second key learning was that it's okay to take risks and try new technology tools within your classroom. Both success and failures are okay. For me personally, going through this program, I have succeeded in many things dealing with technology, and I've also failed. And I found that just being a reflective practitioner within that setting has really made me a better teacher. And my third key learning from our master's class program is that using your resources is powerful, whether that be using your professors, peers, colleagues, or the internet. The list can honestly go on and on as far as resources go. I have found that those resources are really what made me learn the most throughout this master's program, whether it be talking with people within our cohort or talking to my professors or having conversations at school about what I was learning in these classes really helped me become a better educator. Second thing I would like to talk about my master's program would be my research question and my research that I completed on my capstone. So my research question is as follows. In light of what is known about how children learn in educational policy and practice, how shall educators best teach, utilize, and implement technology, specifically through a flipped classroom method of teaching, to enhance student engagement and ultimately student achievement? So then moving on to my key research findings. My first finding was that flipped classrooms lead to stronger student-teacher relationships. Within a flipped classroom setting, students are able to come to class with questions, teachers give more specific feedback right away, and teachers can differentiate their instruction in class to help fit each student's needs just a little bit more. This increase in student-teacher relationships then enhances engagement and achievement within a flipped classroom setting. My researchers, Steam, Utheim, and Foldness, Peterson, Almadue, Winter, and Barron, DeYoung, Goff, and Grundemeyer all researched the flipped classroom and found that this was a major theme within the flipped classroom and its effects on engagement and achievement. These researchers all found that the flipped classrooms lead to stronger student-teacher relationships, which then in the end leads to that increased engagement piece and then ultimately that achievement piece among those students. My second key finding was that flipped classrooms lead to student ownership of learning. Within a flipped classroom, students have to watch their videos on their own time. If they don't, they will not be prepared for the next class because they do have to come to class prepared with the skills that they learned from the videos. In-class activities are more hands-on with this method of teaching and need students to participate using their knowledge from their videos that they watched at home. Students are more engaged because of the ownership they have to take for their learning. When they have to come to class prepared, they're more ready to go and they're more ready to dive into the more hands-on activities. D'Adito and Miller, Chitayo, Davis, Methendi, and Stratton, Harris, McCarty, and Merlin Noblick, Chen, Kazarowski, Crush, White, and Lanning, and Enfield found that flipped classrooms lead to students taking ownership of their own learning. These researchers then found a correlation between ownership of learning and increased student engagement and achievement. And then my third finding was that flipped classrooms lead to more peer collaboration. Within a flipped classroom, more discussions are had actually in class. Students become more active participants. Students feel more confident in class because they are learning actually from their peers because of the discussions being had. And then students feel more confidence, which then in turn leads to that enhancement of engagement. Thompson and Ayers, Malik Khan and Maksud, D'Adito and Miller, Judatawi and McCullum, Fleming, Plotnikoff, and Scoggin all found that flipped classrooms lead to increased peer collaboration. Each of the studies then found that there was positive correlation between those flipped classrooms and then higher levels of achievement. And in the end, like I've said, overall achievement is then affected by that higher level of engagement. So those were my key findings within my capstone. And then moving on to just my final reflection. As far as advocating for future research and possible topics of interest, I'm hoping to continue to be a lifelong learner and to continue to research new and improved ways of teaching and education. I'm hoping to share my research findings with colleagues as well as administration within my school, which then will hopefully lead to me being able to lead PD sessions based on my findings with my peers, hoping to take a more leadership role. And then lastly, just advocating for more time to do that research, to communicate with peers, and to work with my colleagues on those new findings in education, because I think that time piece is necessary in order to complete and use that research that we were looking at. Next, as far as my personal applications, I have found through these master's classes that I've been able to find a balance between teaching, coaching, grad school, family time, and having a social life. I've really learned how to appropriately balance these important aspects of life. Also, I've learned a lot about my support systems throughout this journey. My support system is so important in my personal and professional life. Colleagues, peers, family, and friends have all made a huge difference through my grad school journey here. And then lastly, I've learned a lot about time management through this grad school experience, just with a busy schedule with coaching basketball, teaching, and again, balancing family and friends. I've learned that having time management is key to finding success in not only grad school, but everything else in life as well. My professional applications from this master's experience, collaboration with peers. I've really taken on the role of having those conversations with my colleagues about what we're doing in our classrooms, and that's really important to everyone's education. Being able to collaborate with our peers then leads to professional development. New tools. I'm hoping to really find new technology tools, whether it be each week, each month, whatever there's time for, just to implement into my classroom as often as possible. This master's program has really pushed me to do that. Also, I hope to continue my lifelong learner journey. I hope to seek out my professional development opportunities to really enhance my teaching, and this master's program has really pushed me to do that as well. This program has also pushed me to take a little bit of leadership role in my technology within my school, my technology scope and sequence. In school, I'm in the process of leading our school technology committee and creating our new technology scope and sequence. And then lastly, this master's course or master's program has really pushed me to examine the SAMR model a little bit more. I've been made more aware of what that model is and how to incorporate technology meaningfully into my lessons. I hope to refer to this often to really make sure I'm differentiating my technology implementation in the classroom. And then lastly, my concluding thoughts here. What I've learned about myself as a professional educator. I've learned that collaboration is key, along with professional development. And then lastly, just get out there and lead when you can. Again, take those risks and just be a leader. What I've learned about myself as a reflective practitioner. Practitioners is a key to any good educator. Just reflecting back and seeing what went well and what didn't will lead to a successful classroom. Also, one more key finding was it's okay to fail, and then also have reflective conversations with others. I think that conversation piece is super important. What I've learned about myself as a decision maker, always make informed decisions, use your resources when you can, step out of that comfort zone, and then lastly, have that student first mentality whenever you're making decisions. And then the last one here, what I've learned about myself as an adaptive expert. Look for improvement whenever you can. Education is ever changing. And also what worked today might not work tomorrow. So it's important to keep adapting to what's going on in the world today and adapting your education to fit the needs of the students that you have in your room at that time. So that concludes my presentation. Here are all my references. Thank you for listening.